Have you thought about buying a second home in the Phoenix, Arizona area? That is a popular thing to do. And if you're thinking about doing that, you are not alone. There are thousands of people who do that every single year, and they buy that second home for maybe a vacation rental, or maybe for just themselves to use it, maybe for friends and family to come down and enjoy the beautiful weather, the second season, the main season of Phoenix, Arizona that I affectionately call awesomeness. There's no spring, there's no winter, there's no fall, there is a summer, and we call that hot. But outside of that, pure awesomeness for 8 months out of the year. So it is a good idea, in my humble opinion, as a realtor who's been selling homes in the Phoenix area for 18 plus years now, to maybe think about doing that if you maybe meet these criteria sets that we're going to talk about on this video. So we're going to look at 5 things that you should consider if you're actually looking to maybe purchase that second home here in the beautiful state of Arizona and in the amazing city of the Phoenix metro area. But first, why? Why are you looking to do this? I can tell you from experience, most people looking to do this are doing it because of the weather. That is the #1 reason that Phoenix has so much sunshine. It has very little weather. It just has that heat in the summertime, and then outside of that, when the weather cools down, this time of year, it is beautiful to spend time here in the desert because it is amazing. Every day almost is sunshine and rainbows. Okay, no rainbows, but sunshine and warm weather. We're talking some areas of the calendar, like January and December, they do get actually somewhat cold at night. You can get down into the 40s, sometimes on rare occasions in the 30s, but then it warms up during the day and you have a low to mid 70 weather day most of the time. So that is the #1 reason, and I'm sure you're probably aware of that, but I want to make that very clear before we jump into these 5 other things to consider. Before we do that, if you don't mind just liking our page or subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. So that first thing to consider is acquisition of the property, by doing so with cash or through financing. So how are you looking to purchase the property? If you're looking to pay cash, that's pretty straightforward. You probably have a good idea of how that works. Now, logistically, to buy a house in Arizona, we have videos on that, but just go ahead and give me a call, 480-660-5974. I'd be happy to walk you through exactly the state laws and the logistics of actually purchasing a property, timeframes, timelines, negotiation aspects of the contract, your rights that you have with that, and all that fun stuff. We're not gonna cover that on this video today. But if you're looking to finance, it's interesting because the financing options for a second home are actually pretty good. Now, you typically have to put down on an investment property a minimum of 20%. However, if you're buying a property as a secondary home or residence, then you only have to put down as little as 10%. Conventional product, Fannie Freddie, they do have a conventional loan product that literally is 10% down, and they will finance 90% of the remaining purchase price. Now, you do have mortgage insurance with that because you don't have that 20% LTV, loan to value ratio, on that purchase, but it does allow you to come out of pocket less to actually get in to that secondary residence if that's something you're looking to do. Now, when you sign your loan documents for a secondary loan for that residence, you will not be able to rent it out on a long-term basis, meaning a long-term tenant where it's a strict investment property. So someone goes in there, they bring their own furniture, and they stay for 12 months or longer. That's something you are not supposed to do when getting financing for a secondary home. However, the great news is it does allow for short-term rentals. If you want to Airbnb or VRBO your property, you can do that as long as you are also using it yourself at some portion of time throughout the year. So that is a beautiful thing to do when you're looking to acquire a property, which leads us into the second thing to consider, which is not the financing, but the finances of owning a second property. Will you look at it as a forced savings account because you're only going to use it for yourself and maybe your friends, family, and therefore most of the year it's going to sit vacant, or even when it's not sitting vacant, you're not charging anyone anything. And so if you're paying down your mortgage, the good news is you can look at it as a forced savings account, because every single month you're making that payment. You're not having any cash flow, obviously, but you are paying down your mortgage, the principal on the loan. So you are literally putting money towards it. And yes, some of that's going towards interest, but a portion of that, as long as it's amortized, is going towards your principal buy down. So like a forced savings account, because one day you'll look up and the term of the loan will be over and you will have this piggy bank of a property worth whatever it's worth sitting there, owned free and clear. The other aspect is you can maybe zero cost your property. Maybe you zero cost it, maybe you make some money. I have a secondary residence right now, and we use it. My family loves to use it, and it's actually up north in Flagstaff, Arizona. And we get up there to use it in the summertime to beat the heat, sometimes during the summertime here in the Phoenix area, because it's 30 degrees cooler or what have you up in the mountains. But also when it's beautiful here and maybe you want to get away for a weekend to do some skiing or snowboarding, we can go up there and use it for that, and other times throughout the year as well. During the times we're not using it, we do Airbnb or VRBO the property, and it does really well. So at the very least, we're looking to zero cost all of our expenses by the revenue we receive from it being a short-term rental when we're not using it. And if we have a good month, then we're actually going to make some money on the investment that we use as a secondary residence, which is amazing. It's the best of both worlds. So if you live in a state outside of Arizona or an area outside of Arizona where you want to come to the Phoenix area and enjoy the beautiful weather in the off season, it is a great idea to do, assuming you can afford it and it fits within your budget. But you have to have that strategy as to the finances of the deal and what it's going to look like, even long term, not just short term, for you and your family. Now that segues perfect to the third thing, which is time. That's the one thing we all wish we had more of, I know. So when you're going to have some leisure time, some downtime, and you want to spend it elsewhere besides the house you currently live in, how much time will you spend at that secondary residence? That falls in line with number 2 and number 1 in terms of those points in this video, because it all works together. And when you are spending time at your secondary residence, where do you want the property to be? Do you want to be in the middle of everything? Do you want to be in the middle of all the hustle and bustle? You can walk to coffee shops, into restaurants, and department stores, things of that nature. Or do you want to be out more in the middle of nowhere where you don't have anyone around you? You can be part of nature, go hiking, go on biking trips, go on things of that nature that's outdoor activity related, and you don't have to worry about being next to a bunch of other people. So what is it you're looking to do? That should be part of your strategy. And Phoenix, the whole area of Phoenix, has a little bit of everything. Honestly, it does. So you can choose what it is you're looking to do when you have that leisure time and you're looking to get away. So again, reach out to me. I know it very well. My team knows Phoenix very well. I've been here 18 years and we've sold over 3,000 homes to different families and individuals. So we would love to help you pinpoint that geographical location or area based on the lifestyle or what it is you're looking to do when you're spending that time in your secondary residence. The fourth thing is travel. Now, this coincides with the other 3 points as well, but travel. How much time do you want to spend traveling to where your secondary residence is going to be? Now, when it comes to the financing, I believe that financing dictates that a secondary residence must be over 50 or maybe 60 miles from where your owner-occupied residence currently is. So that's going to be a no-brainer for most people, because if you're doing a secondary residence, you're usually going to be more than 50 or 60 miles from your primary residence. But if you're out of state, if you're in Wisconsin, you're looking to go to Arizona. If you're in Illinois, looking to go to Arizona, or wherever it may be, are you looking to have a direct flight? Do you mind if you have a connecting flight? Now, the good news is Phoenix, because it's such a large city, has a lot of straight direct flights from most places across the country. Not just to Sky Harbor Airport, but also to Gateway Mesa Airport, which has Allegiant Airlines, which services a lot of mid-major to smaller cities across the country. So that is the good news. But how much time do you want to travel to your secondary residence? Are you good with just a 2-hour flight and nothing longer, a 3-hour flight? Or maybe do you want the ability to drive to where your secondary residence is located? That all matters. Also, too, when it comes to travel, do you like to, when you have leisure time or downtime, spend most of that time in the same type of place? Or do you like to travel the world and go to different places every time you have a vacation? That matters too, because if you're one of those people that wants to travel the world and see all these different locations all the time when you have downtime or leisure time, then maybe a second home is not going to be the best use of your money and time. So these are things to also consider when looking to maybe buy that secondary home. And last but not least, the fifth thing to consider is who's going to take care of it when you're not there. Now, we do have a lot of tradespeople here locally in Phoenix that we can hook you up with, that you can basically turn the key and have a system in which you have either a manager, and that manager has all the people and they will actually manage and take care of your property. Or if you don't want to pay those fees and maybe you're willing to do a little bit of this yourself, we can give you different trades: a pool person, a landscaper, somebody who takes the trash in and out, almost like a home maintenance check-in person. We have those people as well. Those services are available here in Phoenix, and people that we are vetted and we use that we know are good. And who's going to clean the property when you're done, because maybe you don't want to spend the time cleaning it before you leave, or if you're going to rent it out. A good maid service is vital to make sure that one that you can trust, to make sure that your home is clean for the next guest that's going to come and stay there. So all these people we have on our Rolodex, is that still a thing? What? Okay, it's a digital Rolodex that we have to hook you up with the best people to make sure you have a great experience when owning that secondary home, no matter what you decide to use it for. So thank you guys for joining us on the video here that we created regarding a secondary home, because that's a big market for us, especially as realtors here in the Phoenix area. A lot of people have secondary residences here because they want to take advantage of the amazing weather when it's not so amazing elsewhere throughout the country. So guys, if you have any other questions, give us a call, 480-660-5974. Don't be shy, go ahead and reach out whenever you can. Email us at info@cookandassociatesaz.com, or check us out right here on Instagram at Kelly Cook Homes. We're putting out daily content on all kinds of things for your personal enjoyment and education. And to never miss another video, go ahead and subscribe, smash it, like it, any way you want to do it. I'm okay with it. And again, don't be shy. Just go ahead and call me with any questions. Call me.